Noble here, of course. I've just got the real last little remainders of a glass of milk. I've literally just nearly finished a glass of milk. I love a glass of milk. I've drank milk for as long as I can remember. Like, I've always loved a glass of milk. It's been like one of my most favourite drinks since as far back as I can remember. And it's just a drink that I never get bored of. Like, I could drink milk all the time. I absolutely love it, and I love warm milk as well. Has anybody ever just like put milk in like a cup into like a microwave and just done some like warm milk? I used to love that as a kid, but I do prefer cold milk definitely. You might also be able to hear that there's a fan on as well, and you're probably thinking like it's been snowing outside. Why the hell is the fan on? Well, it gets absolutely roasting in our place when the heating's on, and I've like slept in most of the day because I got back so late, and literally the my room is just like so warm, and I've been like drying, washing and stuff like that, and it's just got like really warm and stuffy. So I was just putting the fan on just to try and cool off just a little bit. I'll probably be a bit colder later on. So anyway, welcome back to another stream. We're doing the Bonanza core vibes. We're doing the aftermath. So if you've never watched these aftermaths before, just essentially I talk about the experience of my most recent gig. So what I normally do when I get a booking that comes through, I'll make like a little announcement stream, stroke video, and then I'll sort of explain like where the gig is, what the date of the gig is, what I'm going to be doing at the gig, and then if there's any like footage I can get at the gigs, I'll get like footage, and then I'll like put that on YouTube as well. And then what I normally tend to do is like an aftermath, so I'll like come on and I'll talk a little bit about how the sort of like gig went, and how the experience was, and just a little bit of a kind of like vlogging in a way, but just kind of documenting sort of each gig, if that makes sense. So big shout to Ian, what you're saying. So core vibes versus bonanza was a little bit of a it was a little bit of a sort of exciting, celebrating, but it was also a little bit of a sad party as well. So sadly, on Friday night we received some devastating news that MC Mitch had sadly passed away. Now, MC Mitch was not somebody that I knew really, really well, wasn't like a really close friend of mine, but we had crossed paths, and I'd seen him at Bonanzas, and I'd seen him rip up the mic, and he was an all sort of round sound guy from what I had seen and known of the guy. And like I say, I'd only met him this year, so I didn't really know him on a real like personal level, but I knew him enough to have a laugh with him in the rave, let's say. And it was such a shocking thing to hear that it sadly passed away. So thoughts and regards go out to the family, thinking of the family and the close friends at this time. And it was, obviously an unexpected but very saddening bit of news. So we kind of did a little bit of a tribute to him. We made the night sort of a little bit of a tribute in memory, to the MC Mitches. He was well liked at Bonanza, and he'd MC'd at Bonanza on numerous times. So it was obviously, the right thing to do, just to do a little in memory kind of thing. So we sort of did that, but at the same time it was Richie Corby's birthday, so we were celebrating Richie's birthday. So there was a little bit of like, there was a little bit of sadness, but there was a little bit of sort of good vibes as well, because you got someone's birthday, but then you've got the unfortunate sad news of obviously the MC Mitch sadly leaving us, gone, but not forgotten. So the event took place in Birmingham, so I drove all the way. Well, I don't drive myself, but the driver who was driving me last night, we drove all the way down to Birmingham, and it was actually a fair drive. It's about 2 hours and 57 minutes, so it's like just short of 3 hours to get to Birmingham, which is a little bit of a long drive, and especially when you're on the way there and you just kind of you feel like you're just driving and driving and you're not getting there, and it feels like forever, and then you've got that like last half an hour before you get there and you're thinking, oh come on, just get there now. So my aim was that we was going to set off about 5:30. That was sort of my aim, because I knew it took a good few hours, and from experience you just don't know what you're going to sort of face a battle with on the motorway. Closed lanes, accidents, sections where they'll slow you right down for roadworks or whatever various reasons. And my first set I was on at 9 o'clock, so it made sense that we had to try and get there in good time. But everything happens, and you always plan to set off earlier, and then things crop up and you don't set off as early as you would have liked. So we, instead of about 5:30, we set off about 10 to 6, and it was a little bit, I was a little bit like, oh, I didn't want to set off as late as this. But when I looked on, put the sat nav on, it sort of, we were still going to get there in time, so it kind of eased me a little bit. But like I say, you just don't know what you're going to battle on the motorway, so that was kind of sort of going sort of through my mind. And I know the day before, which we'll talk briefly about as well, I drove up the M1 as well, briefly, and there was a lane closed and we got diverted onto an A road, and just in general, wasn't that sure what was going to happen last night because of the night before. So it's better to be prepared. That's all I say. So it was a mega long drive, and we got there, I think I got there about 10 to 9 or something like that, and I was on at 9. So it was a very brief, not that good. Like, I like to get there a little bit earlier. And then essentially we got there was some people waiting outside. They hadn't opened up the venue yet. There was obviously Dukins was in the venue and the Corevibez, but they weren't letting any of the ravers in, and they wouldn't let me in at first, even though I was an artist. Like, I was trying to say, like, I'm an artist, and they were like, you've got to wait for the side doors to open. But then Joe came up and he was able to get me in, so he got me and my mum in just a little bit earlier. She came along to witness what it's like when I gig. So we come down, and I more or less went straight and started mic checking and got ready for the set. And yeah, we went from there. So the first set was a drum and bass set with Spin Blitz and DJ Toll, and they absolutely smashed it. It was one of the best D&B sets that I have ever MC'd over. It was purely amazing, and their mixing was on point. Their D&B mixing was on point. Now, the night before, I'd ended up MCing on some drum and bass sets as part of a birthday surprise, and the mixing last night was so much better. I ain't gonna lie to you, and that's not me being ungrateful, because I was very grateful about the birthday surprise, don't get me wrong, but the mixing last night on that D&B set was just something else, and it was the right kind of D&B that I like to spit over. It was just full of like jump up drops, and there was like minimal breakdowns, and it was just like for a proper like belly man sort of to go in kind of MC styled set. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it was an amazing vibe. So it was the first hour. I hosted the first hour, spat some bars, hosted. People was coming in, It was just it was early doors of the rave. I was just hyping people up. It was a drum and bass set at a hardcore night. A lot of people preferred a hardcore, so it was just a little something more. As people were sort of arriving, people were coming in. People were just getting their first drink and sitting down, not really coming straight to the dance floor as such. Apart from a guy called Jim, so big shout to Juggling Jim, because he absolutely loves coming to see me on the mic, and he always comes and stands near the front or stands on the dance floor and gets a few videos, and he worked his magic and got a few videos, and he was proper buzzed. And he loves coming to the Bonanza raves as well. I don't know him at all too well. I only met him, I think the first time was back in June when I gigged at the Summer Stomp Bonanza. So I don't really personally know him, but he loves seeing me in the raves, and he always comes over and catches some little videos of me, which is really good, really good in that sense. So it was a banging D&B set. It was absolutely banging from the start to the finish, and then it sort of went on to the hardcore sets. There was Club Filler headlining. There was Rob IYF and Al Storm. There was Kayleen Scar and DJ Vibes, which we'll get onto, and there was some other great sets as well. So there was Joey Excite, who played last alongside Spin Blitz again, and then there was JDH, and then there was the other guy, and I can't remember his name. I always forget his DJ name, but he also well, and they played some like banging hardcore sets, and the Corbies, they also played as well. So I did the 9 till 10. JDH did the 10 till 11 with Cosmic, and then the Core Vibes did 11 till 12 with Chris Lee, and then 12 till 1 was Club Filler and MC Watsy, who absolutely, they brought the roof down just like they do. And then from 1 till 2, it was Rob IYF, B2B Al Storm, which was an absolutely day with a set of the night for me. They played some absolute belters, and when them two do B2Bs together, it's always magical, like kind of when like Dougal and Gamma, when they do a B2B together, it was always magical. And Rob IYF and Al Storm, for me, they're kind of like the future Dougal and Gamma. They play wicked B2B sets together. They make really nice uplifting tunes. They make really good bootlegs as well, and they just play real like energetic sets that always seem to go off, and they're always full of like surprises and twists and turns, and they just always seem to absolutely smash sets. And I've seen Al Storm play a couple of times on his own, and I've actually, and this is not to bring the guy down, but I've seen him play some not so good sets, and when he seems to do them with Rob IYF, they just seem to be like so much better, and they just seem to go off, and they just seem to absolutely smash it. So it was a really good set. It was like outside of the ones I hosted, like from just being at the rave and raving around and just catching the other sets, like it was the set of the night for me. Like Club Filler did good, don't get me wrong, Club Filler smashes it, he always does, but the Rob IYF and Al Storm, they just brought something different, and they just did something really banging, and some of the drops were just absolutely filthy, and they're just moving into this newer kind of like Club Filler sound. They were playing some like big drops like he does, but like it was all their kind of like their own stuff, if that makes sense. A lot of their own remixes and a lot of their own bootlegs, and absolutely just really enjoyed the set. So the DJ Vibes and Kayleen Scar. Now this set was something else. So I had the privilege of hosting this set alongside MC Titanium. So for me, this was kind of like a bucket list, because DJ Vibes is a legend. He was one of the headliners, and the fact that I got the privilege of hosting one of the headliners was kind of, it was a little surreal for me, because I've done this music business for a lot of years, and I put and I believe personally that I put my heart and soul into it, and I've got a good passion for the music, and it's the passion for the music that I always kind of like to try and make shine through. And I just feel like it was so nice to finally get that moment. Well, I say finally. I don't say finally as in like, oh, it's taken its time. But it was nice to jump on that set, and it was nice to get that opportunity to jump on such a legend set. And it was a banging set. What can I say? So they went with like a they went with sort of like a 2000s to 2010 sort of styled hardcore set, and we dedicated it to obviously the late MC Mitch, and Kayleen Scar said a couple of things on the mic just before we went away with a set, which I thought was really good. So I didn't introduce them, and I just thought, yeah, this was actually quite a nice sort of way to do things. So said a few words, make some noise for the MC Mitch, and that kind of thing, and then rolled with a set, and then it was down to me and Titanium, and the tunes were just bouncy, the tunes were just fun. There was some classics in there. Dougal and Gamma, When I Close My Eyes was one. There was 21st Century Girl, All I Need, DJ Kurt. There was some absolute bangers. It was a proper like hardcore party, and it was a really good. For me, it was up there with one of the best sets that I've ever sort of like jumped on the mic on. I just felt like, for some reason, I just felt like I was on form, and I just felt like I was doing really well, and I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I'd really like shone through, like with confidence, like because one thing I've always struggled with is I can get on the mic and I can spit a fast bar, and I've always like not so much really had an issue with that. But one thing that I've always kind of had a little bit of an issue with, that I've always been trying to overcome, and I don't know why. But it's like looking at the crowd, and it's like talking to the crowd. So like I getting the crowd to make noise, getting the crowd to do like oggy oggies, like introducing and shouting out DJs. It's always been like a little bit of a thing that I've always got a little bit nervous about. And I just felt like yesterday, like I really properly overcame that, and like just proper, I was like getting the crowd to make noise. I was just absolutely, I was shouting out the DJs, and then do you want one more from the DJs, and stuff like that. It was just a really good vibe. It was really fun, and I enjoyed being back to back with MC Mitch. Although the annoying thing is we were sharing the mic, and one thing I really do hate is when like MCs don't bring their own mics. Like if you book somewhere to MC and you are an MC, like bring your mic, like literally bring your mic. And just the fact that there was only one mic wire as well, and then like just like it's when it's B2B, because it's annoying, because you lose a couple of, like you spit a 16 and then you pass it to the next guy, you lose a couple of seconds while you're passing the mic over, and then the other guy who wants to come in with his 16, he can't always go on the drop, because he's grabbed the mic, he's got to get it in his hand right, and then he's got to start spitting, and then fast hardcore music, you're on into the next drop, and it just, for me, it doesn't always, I hate passing the mic when it's a B2B. I hate it. Like, there should be two mics. There should be two mics. And I think, like MCs, like why, like if you are an MC, like why don't you bring your mic? Like it's just something I've never understood. Like if I'm MCing, I always bring a mic. Or like if for whatever reason my mic breaks on the day, or I've got some mic issue and I can't get one, I text the promoter and I say, look, sadly my mic's broke, is there going to be one there? But I don't just turn up with no mic, which is like the thing. And I think promoters at the most, I know like they expect that MCs should bring their mic, but you're going to battle with MCs that don't bring a mic. So I think I think at the best you do need to just have a couple of mics at your event with you, just in case someone's mic goes down, or like for for example, and I'll tell you a good example because it actually happened yesterday. So sadly, Joe Dukins' mic got stolen. Someone decided that they was going to pick his mic up and they was going to take it. So when it came to his set, I said, look, you can spit my mic, you can use my mic, go, use it, go on, use it. And then literally, I used it for my set, and then after my set, because we have nearly a 3 hour drive to get home, I was like, I need to take the mic now, because his mic had gone, and he was on the last set as well. He had no mic, and he was like, "Oh, can't you just stay a bit longer? Can't you stay? That there's no mic, and we need a mic." And then he was like, "Oh, if you need to go in there anyway, I can send the mic to you in the post." And I was like, "All right, send it to me in the post then." And luckily it's not a real expensive mic, and I'm thinking about getting a new one anyway. So and that's not me saying I don't want it back, but I was a little bit more like, yeah, I don't mind leaving it with you. Like, whereas if it was something like a brand new, I've just bought this one, I'd be like, no, I'm not leaving it, sorry, kind of thing. It's a bit of an old mic, and the black sort of paintwork on it is kind of like, it's just worn out over time, and it's not the best mic, it's not the clearest. I only paid something like 15 quid for it, and so I was like, all right, yeah, I'll leave it, but make sure you send me it, because well, I'm doing a radio show tonight, and now I've got no mic for it, so it's just music tonight, sadly. But yeah, I just think promoters, need to understand that, as daft as it is, like, there is going to be MCs that you'll book that won't bring a mic, or for whatever reason, like outside of like clubs and raves, they don't really MC, so they don't have a need to really buy a mic, and then they turn up without one, thinking, oh, there'll be one at the club, and then the truth is sometimes there isn't, and like if I have to set off and leave, like I need my mic, so like I need it. It's obviously one of them things. So, but apart from that, it was an absolutely belting night. We had a thick fall of snow, so I think we had about like maybe like two inches of snow, or so. I don't know, 2 centimeters or so. I don't know. There was a fair bit of snow. Like, there was enough that you could have like made snowballs and stuff, and there was enough that you could have maybe attempted to make a snowman. I know someone on Facebook, they actually did make a snowman. It snowed somewhere for them, but by sort of today, the snow had gone. Well, it was really nice, and when I went upstairs at one point to go and get some air, and I saw like just like Birmingham just white over, and there was all this like snow coming down, and there was like there was like loads of lights on in the city, and it just looked like a real nice sort of Christmassy sort of city at night. It was like a really nice sort of like thing to see, but the roads coming back was, they were treacherous. It was a horrible drive back. The roads were really bad. We had to take it really steady as well, because you can't do it. You can't. You've got to be careful. You have to be careful when it comes to driving back like that. The roads were absolutely, the ice on them, the snow on them. And especially some of these like country roads, that don't get, you know, that don't get like gritted. They don't get gritted. There was some like there was some dual carriageways, and they hadn't been gritted, and they were absolutely treacherous. We stopped in a McDonald's. I don't know where, but we stopped at one, and we had a bite, which was really nice. I was actually starving. Hot chocolate, and we hit the M1. So it was sort of around Derby. It was somewhere around there where we hit a Mackey's, and then we went onto the M1, and I actually fell asleep, and I woke up it was just near Goole. I woke up. I always seem to wake up there. If ever I sleep in the car, I wake up there. I don't know why. But yeah, we stopped in there, and we got like a real little bit of fuel. and then I sort of stayed awake at that point, like just stayed awake to get home, and then came home and it got straight into bed. It was like it had just gone 7 in the morning or something like that. Um, God, what a dirty stop out! And it was a late night the night before as well. It was going on for probably like 5, 6 or something like that. I think it was just after 6 the night before. Well, the morning before when I'd got in as well from my birthday surprise where we'd gone right down south. It was like nearly at London. It was crazy. I go on some mad little journeys. So, but yeah, it was it was amazing. Really good event. So big ups to Joe for the booking as always. I can't wait to work with him some more next year. Some more bonanzas and hopefully DJ at one as well. I've not DJ'd at one yet. I've only MC'd at one, so it will be nice to jump behind the decks and DJ at one because I love to DJ as well. And the MCing has really come back lately. Had a lot of MC bookings thanks to Joe, and then like some other promoters have started to like, do you want to MC at our event? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I do, but I still want to DJ as well. It's really hard, like because I want to do both, but it's really hard to find that balance, like because it's hard to get people to see you as both. Like you can like MC and then people are like, oh, he's sick at spitting bars, and then like they want to book you like just for MCing, and then you can DJ for a bit, and then they don't see you as someone who can MC. So it's really hard to find that balance, because I'd love to like just get as many MC bookings as I got DJ bookings, so I was doing a couple of MC bookings and then a couple of DJ bookings, or some bookings, I was DJing and doing an MC set, which would be like a really cool thing. And I did that somewhere not long ago, but I can't remember where it was. So, um, yeah, like I remember it, but I kind of don't remember it. I think it was the Core Vibes. I think it was the last Core Vibes. I MC'd later on, and I also DJ'd the first set. So there we go. So that was Bonanza, Core Vibes, Richie Corby's birthday. Again, very saddened by the passing of MC Mitch. Thoughts go out to friends and family, obviously affected at this time. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share. The next booking is Ultimate Bounce in a couple of weeks in Grimsby. Well, actually, no. The next booking is Hull Red this Friday. So that is the next booking for me. Performing live, doing our reggae songs, doing our positive reggae songs. So that is coming up this Friday. That'll be a really fun one. And then it's Ultimate Bounce. I think it's on the 23rd of December, so that'll be really good. So make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you soon.